Professor Suresh Maths Classes, CSIR Net JRF Mathematical Science. Linear Algebra. Definitions.
Vector space definition. A non-empty set V is said to be a vector space over a field F if V is an abelian group under the operation addition, vector addition, and another operation scalar multiplication. So we need vector set. V is called vector set and F is a field. So alpha is a scalar and here V is a vector. There is defined an element alpha V. Scalar multiplication. This is called scalar multiplication, but this element must belong to V subject to the following conditions. First condition, alpha into U plus V equal to alpha U plus alpha V. Second condition, alpha plus beta into U equal to alpha U plus beta U. Alpha into beta U equal to alpha beta into U. So change the bracket. Then last one, 1 into U equal to U. This one is always don't think like number 1. This one is called unity of the field F. Unity means multiplicative identity in the field F. U and V are called vectors, alpha and beta are called scalars. So what is a vector space? What is the difference between group and vector space? In group we consider only one set of elements under one operation, but here we have two sets of elements. One is called vector set and the second one is called scalar set, and two different types of operations. One is vector addition and the second one is scalar multiplication. So that is the difference between vector space and group. So என்ன சொல்ல வராங்கன்னா, ஒரு நான் எம்டி செட்டை வெக்டார் ஸ்பேஸ் சொல்லணும்னா ரெண்டு ஆப்ரேஷன் இருக்கணும். ஒன்று வந்து வெக்டார் அடிஷன், இன்னொன்று வந்து ஸ்கேலார் மல்டிப்ளிகேஷன். இந்த கண்டிஷன் எல்லாத்தையும் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணணும். இதில் ஒன்று அப்படிங்கிறது என்னென்னா யூனிட்டி ஆஃப் த ஃபீல்டு எஃப். ஃபீல்டு அப்படின்னா அது யூனிட்டி இருக்கும், தட் இஸ் மல்டிப்ளிகேட்டிவ் ஐடென்டிட்டி. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஆர் இஸ் அ வெக்டார், ஆர் இஸ் அ ஃபீல்டு அண்டர் addition and multiplication, then the number 1 is the unity of R, like that. So these are the conditions for vector space. Keep it in mind, an empty set cannot be a vector space. So zero space means at least one element 0. The 0 is called a zero vector, but it has only one element 0 under vector addition and scalar multiplication, then it forms a vector space, that is called zero space or zero vector space. Second example, C, set of complex numbers, is a vector space over the field R, set of real numbers. Here vector addition is addition of two complex numbers, and the scalar multiplication is alpha into, alpha is a real number, some z is a complex number, alpha z. Third example, R cross R is a vector space, or we say R2 is a vector space over R under vector addition and scalar multiplication dot defined by. So this is component wise addition. X1 first component is x1, here y1. So x1 plus y1 add here, and then x2 plus y2. This is vector addition. Scalar multiplication, take this alpha inside, alpha into x1 comma alpha into x2. This is called standard vector addition and scalar multiplication regarding R. So usually we do like this only. Subspace. So what is a subspace? Let V be a vector space over a field F. A non-empty subset W of V is called a subspace of V if W itself is a vector space over F under the operations of V. This is like a subgroup of a group. A non-empty subset of V is called a subspace. That W itself, W is a scalar vector set, so that W must be a vector space under the same operations of V. That is very important, under the same operations of V. Then this W is called subspace of V. So இப்போ subspace proof பண்ணனும்னா இந்த V என்ன ஆபரேஷன்ல சப்ஸ்பேஸா வெக்டர் ஸ்பேஸா இருந்துச்சோ அதே ஆபரேஷன்ஸ் அடிஷன் அண்ட் மல்டிப்ளிகேஷன்ல இந்த W வந்து வெக்டர் ஸ்பேஸ்னு ப்ரூவ் பண்ணனும். பட் இது ஆல்ரெடி எங்கேருந்து வருது அப்படின்னா ஒரு வெக்டார் ஸ்பேஸ்லேருந்தே வரதுனால நம்ம ஃபுல்லாக எல்லா கண்டிஷன்ஸுமே செக் பண்ண வேணாம். ஸோ இந்த கண்டிஷன் செக் பண்ணால் போதும். திஸ் கால் சப்ஸ்பேஸ் டெஸ்ட். டேக் டூ வெக்டார்ஸ் u and v from W and two scalars alpha beta from F and check whether this collection alpha u plus beta v belongs to W. So this is called a subspace test. So the elements of W are coming from the vector space V. So this is enough to prove that W is a subspace. So this is called a subspace test. இதை செக் பண்ண போதும். And also first check whether it contains zero vector. So that is short trick, shortcut. Suppose a subset does not contain zero vector, it cannot be a subspace as well as vector space. Example, 0 and V, 0 element alone and the whole vector space are subspaces of any non-zero vector space. Why I put here means, if you take only 0 means it will have only one subspace. So for non-zero vector space there exists at least two subspaces, 0 and V. They are called trivial subspaces. Consider W equal to the set of all points on x-axis, that is set of all points of the form a comma 0. It is a subspace of R2. And then A00 is a subspace of R3, collection of points of the form. First entry may be any element, any real number, but second and third element must be. So third one is a set of points on x-axis in a plane, because R3 is a plane, because 3 coordinates x, y, z. And fourth one, subset S, the collection of x, y, z such that x square plus y square plus z square equal to 1 is not a subspace. So very simple, it does not contain zero vector, because if you take 0 0 0, the answer will come 0. But here the condition is the sum of the squares of the entries must be 1. So that is the meaning. So in the இடத்துல zero vector irukadu, so we can say this is not a subspace. Linear combination of vectors. If V is a vector space over F, and if the vectors v1, v2, etc., vn, there are n vectors, then any element of the form, that is in this form, this means multiply each vector by scalar, that is the meaning, and add means subtraction also. This any element in this form is called linear combination of the vectors v1, v2 up to vn. So this is the meaning. So simply, so linear combination means multiply the vectors by the scalars and add. So that is the meaning. Some scalars may be 0 also, including 0. Okay. Linearly independent vectors. So when the vectors are called linearly independent, take this linear combination. Here lambda 1, lambda 2 or lambda up to lambda n are scalars. So put this linear combination, take equal to 0. We have to take equal to 0 and check whether all the scalars are 0. That is the meaning. So to verify the vectors are linearly independent, put the linear combination equal to 0 in general form, which implies all the scalars are 0. Then the vectors v1, v2, etc., vn are linearly independent. Here we are saying linearly independent vectors, not scalars. Example, v3 of r. v3 of r means R3 is a vector space over R. These three vectors 1 0 0, 0 1 0, 0 0 1 are linearly independent. So first method, method 1, I can check like this. I take three vectors, consider this as R, because we are taking R only. So R, then linear combination of these vectors. Instead of v1, v2, v3, put this. So lambda 1 into v1 plus lambda 2 into v2 plus lambda 3 into v3 equal to 0 vector. Here 0 vector means from R3. So that's why we put 0 0 0. So இந்த மாதிரி போடணும். So linearly independent proof பண்ணா ரெண்டு மெத்தட் இருக்கு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மெத்தட் தான் இப்போ நம்ம பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். So this is the meaning. Linear combination பூரா equal to 0 போடுங்க. ஸ்கேலர்ஸ் எல்லாம் 0 ன்னு ப்ரூவ் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா இந்த வெக்டார்ஸ்க்கு பேர் வந்து linearly independent vectors. Right. So how to check this? Take this lambda 1 inside. So lambda 1 comma 0 comma 0 plus 0 comma lambda 2 comma 0 plus 0 comma 0 comma lambda 3 equal to 0 0. When you add, we will get in one bracket lambda 1 comma lambda 2 comma lambda 3 equal to 0 0 0. So which implies all the scalars are 0. So all lambda equal to 0. Therefore bi lambda I, okay, for all I, or this is lambda I belongs to f. So all the scalars are 0, therefore this set of vectors is linearly independent. Or method 2, this is called a Wronskian method. For linearly independent vectors, the Wronskian is non-zero. So put a determinant value. This determinant value is 1 because this is a diagonal matrix. Determinant equal to sum of the diagonal entries, so we get 1, so not equal to 0, therefore the vectors are linearly independent. In the opposite, linearly dependent vectors, the vectors are not linearly independent, then they are called linearly dependent. That's all. So some vectors வந்து linearly independent இல்லைனா அது பேர் வந்து linearly dependent. So how to prove this? So opposite of this condition says whenever you put linear combination equal to 0, you should get all the scalar 0. So in the contrary, or in the opposite way, if there exists at least one scalar not equal to 0 such that these linear combination equal to 0, that's enough. So எப்படி proof பண்ணா போதும், at least one non-zero scalar க்கு the linear combination equal to 0 அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டோம்னா the vectors are linearly dependent vectors. So example, so take this, I use the second method, the Wronskian. Find out the determinant, as usual we get 0. So these three vectors are linearly dependent. Exercise to this, for 1 2 3 3 vectors in R4, so we cannot form a determinant, so use first method, I mean linear combination method. Multiply with the scalars and put equal to 0 vector, then check whether they are linearly independent or dependent. Linear span, the collection of the set of all linear combinations of finite sets of elements of S is called linear span of S. The meaning is, suppose we have only two vectors, so what are the possibilities for linear combination of these two vectors? You can take one at a time, multiply with the scalar. The scalar is taken from the scalar set or field. Suppose I multiply this vector by 2, means we get 2 comma 2 comma 0 comma 0, that is one combination. Likewise we can multiply 3 root 2 like that. Take two vectors, multiply one vector by one number and multiply the second vector by another number, multiply and add, that is called another linear combination. So set of all linear combinations of finite set, this is important, we should not take infinite number of elements from this set, only you should take only finite number of elements, that is the meaning. ஒரு செட் எஸ்ல இருந்து this S need not be vector space or subspace, this just a subset only. So from this set S, take vectors, put linear combination, the number of vectors must be finite, that is the meaning. So finite sets of elements of S, then set of all linear combination, right, all the possibilities, then the set is called linear span, notation is L of S. Consider the vector space C over R, set of all complex numbers C over R is a vector space over R. So take these two elements 1 and I consider this as a set, so S equal to 1 comma I, that is a subset of C. I give names U equal to 1 and V is equal to I, and A and B are scalars taken from R. So what is the meaning of linear span of these two elements 1 comma I, or linear span of the set S? The notation is L of S. The meaning is, multiply these two vectors by these scalars and add them. So A into U plus B into V, the set of all elements, not single element, the set of all elements of the form AU plus BV. So that is equals to A into 1 plus B into I, so equals to A plus IB. So set of all A plus IB, that is the linear span of S. இப்போ லீனியர் ஸ்பேன் அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்ணுறோம்னா, ஒரு செட் எடுக்கிறோம், அந்த செட்டுக்கு லீனியர் ஸ்பேன் கண்டுபிடிக்கணும்னா அதோட ஃபீல்டிலிருந்து எலமெண்ட்ஸ் எடுக்கணும், அதுக்கு லீனியர் காம்பினேஷன் போட்டுட்டு அந்த கலெக்ஷன், தட் இஸ் த மீனிங். ஸோ L of S equal to L of 1 comma I equals to collection of A plus IB where A and B are real numbers. This is of a vector space. A set of vectors V1 V2 etc. Vn in a vector space V is called a basis. Plural form is bases. For V, if the vectors are linearly independent, first condition. Second condition, they span V. They span V means suppose this set is S, then we should get L of S equal to V. So that is the meaning. L of S must be equal to V. So that is called linear span. So we have two conditions. One, the set of vectors must be linearly independent. And the second condition, L of S equal to V. For example, the standard basis for Rn is the first vector is 1, 0, 0, etc. First place alone 1, remaining place are 0. Second vector is second element, second entry is 1, all other entries are 0, etc. Like this up to En. First n minus 1 entries are 0, last entry is 1. And then from the previous one, equation 1, we know that 1 comma is linearly independent. How linearly independent? If you put a into 1 plus b into I equal to 0, the only possibility is the scalars must be 0. I am checking the vectors 1 and I are linearly independent. So for this, I am using the definition of linearly independent vectors. So consider this. Put the linear combination of 1 and I, take equal to 0. So which implies the only possibility is both A and B must be 0. So the vectors 1 and I are linearly independent. Already we have shown L of S equal to V. That is L of 1 comma I equal to actually here V is C. So we get the two conditions are satisfied. Therefore 1 comma I is a basis of C over R. Dimension of a vector space equal to number of vectors in any basis of V over F. So to find out the dimension of vector space, if one base is enough. So count the number of vectors in that basis, that is called a dimension. So dimension is a number. Example, dimension of R over R equal to 1, since 1 is a basis. So how to prove this? Take a scalar A from this scalar, this set A R, and a vector 1. This is taken from this R. So what is the collection of A into 1? We get A. So this collection is nothing but collection of real numbers. That is the meaning. Collection of this real number is nothing but R. This R is this vector space. So this 1 is a basis. So dimension equal to 1 because it has only one vector. Dimension of C over R equal to 2. We have already shown 1 comma is a basis. Here we have two elements. So dimension equal to 2. Like this, dimension of Rn equal to n. The previous one E1 E2 up to En. So there are n vectors. So dimension equal to n. M by n means the collection of all m by n matrices with real entries. The dimension is mn. No condition is given means I give you a shortcut. This type of question is repeatedly asked. Suppose no condition is asked, no condition is given. To find out the vector space of collection of matrices, consider a matrix, general matrix in this format. So it has m rows and n columns. So no condition is given. So all the entries are free entries. So free entries means we can put any number. So 2 cross 3 means we can put any number. 2 into 3, 6 element, maybe any number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, or any number we can put. So they are called free entries. Suppose condition is given means reduce it. So symmetric matrices means we know Aij equal to Aji. So I mean this element A1, the diagonal entries can be any number 1 to 3, but A1 to A21, this one is A12 and this one is A21, both must be same because for symmetric matrix this is the condition Aij equal to Aji. So like this, take a general form, general matrix and count the number of free entries. So here 5 mean here should be 5 right here. Okay, here A31, A13 must be same here and here, these two elements must be same. So totally there are 6 free entries. So dimension of 3 cross 3 symmetric matrices, vector space of 3 cross 3 symmetric matrices is 6. So like this you can do. So ஒரு மேட்ரிக்ஸ் கொடுத்துட்டு டைமென்ஷன் கேட்டாங்கன்னா அதில் நம்பர் ஆஃப் ஃப்ரீ என்ட்ரிஸ் எத்தனை இருக்குன்னு பாருங்கள். ஸோ ஃப்ரீ என்ட்ரிஸ் அப்படின்னா நம்ம இஷ்டத்துக்கு போட்டுக்கலாம். இப்போ இந்த இடத்துல வந்து 4 இங்கே போட்டால் கண்டிப்பாக இங்கே 4 தான் இருக்கணும். அப்போ ஒரு என்ட்ரி தான் ஃப்ரீ என்ட்ரி இந்த ரெண்டில். ஸோ அதான் மீனிங். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி கண்டுபிடிச்சிக்கலாம். A vector space is called finite dimensional if it has a basis with a finite number of elements. So a vector space is finite dimensional it doesn't mean the number of elements in the set is finite, not like that. The basis set is finite, that is the meaning. Or suppose the basis has infinite number of elements, then the vector space is called infinite dimensional vector space. If V is finite dimensional and if W is a subspace of V, then W is also finite dimensional. Also dimension of W less than or equal to dimension of V. Dimension of V by W, this is called quotient space, that is equal to dimension of V minus dimension of W. Both A and B are finite dimensional subspaces, then this is a formula. Dimension of A plus B equal to dimension of A plus dimension of B, here put plus dimension of B minus dimension of A intersection B. If V is a finite dimensional n, so this dimension is we already know n, then any set of n linearly independent vectors forms a basis of V. So what is the meaning? Suppose a vector space is given and also dimension is given. To prove that some set is a basis, it is enough to prove these n vectors are linearly independent. Instead of checking two conditions, I mean a linearly independent and span, this is enough. Linearly independent condition alone enough. So that is the meaning. So finite dimensional அப்படின்னு கொடுத்துட்டு டைமென்ஷன் கொடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னா பேசிஸ்ன்னு ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு அது லீனியர்லி இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக இருக்குது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாலே போதும். அது enough. ஸ்பேன் பண்ணுதுன்னு சொல்ல வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. So this type of question already asked in CSIR NET exam. Suppose the matrix A equal to, the matrix given, has a certain complex number lambda not equal to 0. Correct this, lambda not equal to as an eigenvalue. Which of the following numbers must be also an eigenvalue of A? In the matrix க்கு lambda not equal to 0 அப்படின்னு ஒரு eigenvalue இருந்துச்சுன்னா இன்னும் ஒரு eigenvalue என்ன இருக்கும்? It is a 3x3 matrix, so it has 3 eigenvalues. So you have to find out the another one. So see here, sum of the rows, sum of each row of the matrix, you can find out 0. Sum of each row of the matrix is 0. So 0 must be an eigenvalue. See here, 40 minus 29 minus 11 becomes 0, and the second one also 0, third row also 0. So if you get like this, 0 must be an eigenvalue. So ஒரு row add பண்ணும்போது 0 வந்துச்சுன்னா 0 must be an eigenvalue. So already lambda is an eigenvalue. So now another eigenvalue is 0. Let x be the third eigenvalue. So what we get? What is the trace? Trace means sum of the diagonal entries. So 40 plus 30 minus 50. So that is 20. So one eigenvalue is lambda and another eigenvalue is 0. Trace is this one. So trace of A equal to x plus lambda plus 0, that is equal to, this is actually we found this x plus lambda plus 0. Actual trace is 20. So it implies x equal to 20 minus lambda. So the third eigenvalue must be 20 minus lambda. This is the answer. So the next question, 47. Let A be a 3 by 3 matrix with the real entries such that determinant of A equal to 6 and trace of A equal to 0. If determinant of A plus A equal to 0, where as usual I is the identity matrix, then the eigenvalues of A are. So this is a very easy question. Determinant of A கொடுத்துட்டாங்க, trace கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. So simply check which of the following 4 options satisfy these two conditions. Determinant is 0 and determinant is 6 and trace is 0. If we take first option, trace means sum of the eigenvalues. If we take first option, sum will become minus 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is eliminated. And if you take second one, sum is not 0. So this is also eliminated. If you take the third one, sum 0, and also for fourth one, sum 0. For third one, determinant is minus 6, but we need plus 6. So only This is correct. So answer is solution B. Here no need to use this. This is extra condition. So இதை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணணும் அவசியம் இல்லை. டிடர்மினன்ட் 6 வரணும், ட்ரேஸ் வந்து 0 வரணும். அப்போ கிவன் ஆப்ஷனில் எந்த 3 நம்பர்ஸுக்கு சம் வந்து 0, ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து +6 வருது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா போதும். ஸோ த ஆன்சர் இஸ் ஆப்ஷன் டி. So question 48. Let P be a 2 by 2 complex matrix such that P star P is the identity matrix. So P star means conjugate transpose. Then the eigenvalues of P. Here it is given P star P is the identity matrix. So conjugate transpose means the entries may be complex numbers. Take conjugate. Conjugate means write A plus IB as A minus IB. That is called complex conjugate. And then transpose. That is called P star. Notation is P star. So P star P equal to I. That is given. P star P equal to I. This is the definition of unitary matrix. So already we have seen eigenvalues of unitary matrix are modulus 1. Modulus value 1. So unitary matrix eigenvalue கண்டுபிடிச்சிங்கன்னா அதோட modulus value வந்து 1 வரும். Maybe காம்ப்ளெக்ஸாக இருக்கலாம் or real நம்பராக இருக்கலாம். But modulus value must be 1. So the answer is option D. So question 49. Which of the following matrices is not diagonalizable over R? So here it is asked not diagonalizable. Diagonalizable கேட்கல, not diagonalizable. If a matrix have distinct eigenvalues, then the matrix is diagonalizable. For example, if you take B, this is upper triangular matrix. So the eigenvalues are 1, 2, 3. So distinct eigenvalues. So it is diagonalizable. And also see the last one, 1, 2, 3 are the eigenvalues, distinct eigenvalues. So it is diagonalizable. But the converse of the result is not true. The eigenvalues of matrix is are not distinct. That does not mean it is not diagonalizable. Option A and C may be diagonalizable or not diagonalizable. I repeat, if eigenvalues of a matrix are distinct, then the matrix is diagonalizable. That's all. If a matrix is diagonalizable, that does not imply the eigenvalues must be distinct. Okay. For example, take identity matrix I3. The eigenvalues are 1, 1, 1. Same eigenvalues, but the matrix is already diagonal matrix, so diagonalizable. So here I use a simple trick. A matrix in Jordan canonical form. So remove one in. A matrix in Jordan canonical form is not diagonalizable. So what is Jordan canonical form? So see here. If you put like this means this is not Jordan form. Actually this one appear 2 times. So this is Jordan block and this is one Jordan block. This is called standard Jordan block. If a matrix is in standard Jordan canonical form, this matrix is not diagonalizable. So that is the answer. So what is the meaning of diagonalizable matrix? Suppose I take a matrix A. If A can be written as P inverse DP, where P is some non-singular matrix and D is some diagonal matrix, then we say a matrix is diagonalizable. Suppose a matrix is already diagonal matrix, then instead of P we can put I. So ஒரு மேட்ரிக்ஸ் வந்து ஏற்கனவே டயகனல் மேட்ரிக்ஸாக இருந்துச்சுன்னா இந்த டிங்கிற இடத்துல அதே ஏ போட்டுக்கலாம். Thus A equal to, we can write I inverse same A I, because I can be cancelled. I inverse is also I. So every diagonal matrix is diagonalizable. Suppose a matrix is not diagonal matrix, we have to check this whether we can convert this A into in this form P inverse DA. இப்படி எழுத முடியுமான்னு பார்க்கணும். இப்படி எழுத முடிஞ்சிச்சுன்னா we say the matrix A is diagonalizable. See the actual meaning. So diagonalizable அப்படின்னா diagonal matrix அப்படின்னு நினைக்கக்கூடாது, அந்த மாதிரி அர்த்தம் இல்லை. So diagonalizable does not mean the matrix must be diagonal. Not like that. Every diagonal matrix is diagonalizable, but the converse is not true. Question 50. Let A be a 3 cross 3 matrix with A cube equal to minus I. Which of the following statements are correct? In this type of question, check whether A can be identity matrix or not. That is a particular example, but here they are asking generally. இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் கொடுக்கும்போது ஏங்கிறது ஐயா இருக்கலாமா இருக்கக்கூடாதா அப்படிங்கிறத பார்த்துங்க. ஏன்னா சில கொஸ்டினில் வந்து ஏ நாட் ஈக்குவல் டு ஐ அப்படின்னு கொடுத்துருவாங்க. ஸோ அந்த சுச்சுவேஷனில் நம்ம ஏ வந்து ஐடென்டி மேட்ரிக்ஸை எடுக்கக்கூடாது. ஸோ பட் ஹியர் நோ கண்டிஷன் இஸ் கிவன். ரைட், திஸ் a part C question actually. So part C question. C, A cube equal to minus I, that is given. So therefore we have characteristic polynomial lambda cube equal to minus 1. Here we may commit one mistake. So lambda cube equal to minus 1 means lambda equal to minus 1. Like that we write usually. But here entries and eigenvalues, about entries and eigenvalues, whether they are real number or complex number, that is not given. So better always write like this. So think higher level. இந்த இடத்துல லேம்டா கியூப் ஈக்குவல் டு மைனஸ் 1 அப்படின்னா உடனே லேம்டா ஈக்குவல் டு மைனஸ் 1 அப்படின்னு மட்டும் எழுதக்கூடாது. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி தான் நீங்கள் சிம்பிளை பண்ணணும். ஸோ லேம்டா கியூப் ப்ளஸ் 1 ஈக்குவல் டு 0, யூஸ் ஏ கியூப் ப்ளஸ் பி கியூப் ஃபார்முலா. ஏ கியூப் ப்ளஸ் பி கியூப் ஈக்குவல் டு ஏ ப்ளஸ் பி இன்ட்டு ஏ ஸ்கொயர் மைனஸ் ஏபி ப்ளஸ் பி ஸ்கொயர். ஸோ ஏ ஸ்கொயர் மைனஸ் ஏபி ப்ளஸ் பி ஸ்கொயர். ஹியர் ஏ இஸ் லேம்டா அண்ட் பி இஸ் 1. So write like this. For the first one, lambda will be minus 1. This is a quadratic equation. Second one, so we have to simplify like this. There is no other way. இந்த மாதிரி simplify பண்ணிங்க. Second one வந்து quadratic equation. So we get 1 plus or minus root 3 I will become outside, should come outside. So root 3 of I, like write like this. So the eigenvalues are, these three eigenvalues are distinct. Already told just now. Distinct eigenvalue implies the matrix is diagonalizable. ஸோ ஒரு மேட்ரிக்ஸுக்கு ஐகன் வேல்யூஸ் வந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட். டிஸ்டிங்க்ட் மீன்ஸ் மூணுமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஐகன் வேல்யூ. ஸோ டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக இருந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த மேட்ரிக்ஸ் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக டயகனலைசபிளாக இருக்கும். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் மீன் பை ட்ரையாங்குலரைசபிள்? ஆல்ரெடி இன் எக்கலன் ஃபார்ம் வி டிட் இன் ஸ்கூல் லெவல். ஸ்கூல் லெவலே போட்டிருப்போம். ஒரு மேட்ரிக்ஸ் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி கொண்டு வருவோம். லைக் திஸ் 0, here 1, here 0. These numbers may be any number. Here, any number. So this is always a triangular matrix. So we can write any matrix convert into triangular matrix. So every matrix is triangularizable. This is always true. And the determinant of matrix is the product of eigenvalues. So if you multiply these three, you will get minus 1. So all the options are correct. So usually some questions are asked like this. எல்லா ஆப்ஷனுமே கரெக்டாக வர மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் கேட்பாங்க பார்ட் சியில். Also sometimes only single answer may be correct. அந்த மாதிரியும் கேட்பாங்க பார்ட் சி லைன். So question number 51. So this is repeated model nilpotent matrix. Let n be a non-zero 3/3 matrix with the property n square equal to 0. Whenever n square equal to 0 is given, so keep it in mind, this n is nilpotent. So which of the following is or are true? June 2012 part C question. N is not similar to a diagonal matrix. Actually what is the meaning? N is similar to a diagonal matrix. Whether n is diagonalizable or not, that is the meaning. See the answer. A non-zero nilpotent matrix is not diagonalizable. எப்பவுமே ஞாபகம் வச்சுங்க, very very important result. ஜீரோ மேட்ரிக்ஸ் வந்து nilpotent இல்லையா அப்படின்னா nilpotent தான், because 0 power 1 equal to 0. So what is the meaning of nilpotent matrix? For some power k, if a power k equal to 0 matrix, then the matrix A is called nilpotent matrix of index k if a power k minus 1 not equal to 0. So for the first time a power k equal to 0 and a power k minus 1 not equal to 0 matrix, then the matrix A is called nilpotent matrix of index k. So that is the meaning. But 0 matrix எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா 0 matrix is always nilpotent because 0 power 1 equal to 0. So 0 matrix is a nilpotent matrix of index 1. So keep this in mind. Whether it is diagonalizable or not, 0 matrix is a diagonal matrix, right? For example, if you take only 2 cross 2 matrix like this, 4 zeros, whether it is diagonalizable or not, already here two zeros are there, so it is diagonalizable matrix, diagonal matrix. So diagonal matrix is diagonalizable. So zero nilpotent matrix is always diagonalizable, but non-zero nilpotent matrix is not diagonalizable always. So option A is correct, is not similar to a diagonal matrix. This is correct and this is wrong. What about C and D? N has one non-zero eigenvector, N has three linearly independent eigenvectors. Suppose this option D is true, what we get? See here, n square equal to 0 implies n is a nilpotent matrix, so which implies 0 is the only eigenvalue of n. So n has at least one non-zero eigenvector. Suppose n has three linearly independent eigenvectors, Gm means geometric multiplicity of 0. That is the number of linearly independent eigenvectors. That is also 3. And algebraic multiplicity means how many times this 0 come as a eigenvalue. Here 0 comes 3 times. That is called algebraic multiplicity. If both are equal means n will become diagonalizable. This is a contradiction because already we proved n is not diagonalizable. So n cannot have three linearly independent eigenvectors. So option C is correct. One non-zero eigenvector is correct, but option D is wrong. So answer A and C. So the மாதிரி similar to a diagonal matrix na diagonalizable னு அர்த்தம், not similar na not diagonalizable அப்படின் meaning. So that is the meaning. This is an example. Example we took this matrix, so we can take like this, but by taking example eliminate the option. Let n be a positive integer and let Hn be the space, space means vector space, of all n by n matrices A equal to Aij, with the entries in R satisfying Aij equal to Ars whenever I plus j equal to R plus s. The numbers I, j, R, s are running from 1 to n. Then the dimension of Hn as a vector space over R is, so 4 options are given. So here is a condition Aij equal to Ars if I plus j equal to R plus s. So how to find out this? So Hn அப்படின்னு ஒரு வெக்டார் ஸ்பேஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க, அதோட டைமென்ஷன் தான் கேட்குறாங்க. ஸோ how many free entries are there for a general matrix in Hn? We have to find out that. Hn ஜென்ரலாக ஒரு மேட்ரிக்ஸ் எடுத்தோம்னா அதில் எத்தனை ஃப்ரீ என்ட்ரிஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா போதும். ஃப்ரீ என்ட்ரிஸ் மீன்ஸ் our choice. By our choice we can put any number. They are called free entries. So free entries அப்படின்னா நம்ம இஷ்டத்துக்கு என்ன நம்பர் வேணாலும் போட்டுக்கலாம், எந்த எலமெண்ட் வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிறது தான். அப்போ எப்படி கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம்? ஸோ டைமென்ஷன் ஆஃப் Hn ஈக்குவல் டு, திஸ் இஸ் ஷார்ட்கட் மெத்தட், நம்பர் ஆஃப் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் என்ட்ரிஸ் இன் ஏ ஆர் ஃப்ரீ என்ட்ரிஸ் இன் ஏ. ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் கன்சிடர் a 3x3 matrix like this. So condition is A11, first entry is A11. Say A11 equal to, they put one condition A11, but here I and j are 1, R plus I plus j equal to 2. So this side also A11 because R plus j also 2. So here only one element have total 2. So that is the meaning, that is this element. And second element A12, A12 and A21, because here sum is 1 plus 2 3, here 2 plus 1 3. These two elements must be same. That is the meaning, that is the condition. So this is second entry, that's why I put 2. And then A13 equal to A31. The total is 1 plus 3, 3 plus 1, 4. But what about A22? For this also total is 4. 2 plus 2, 4. So these three elements must be same. So இந்த மாதிரி செக் பண்ணணும். இந்த கீழே இருக்கிற நம்பர் A11 அப்படின்னா 1 plus 1 2. இப்போ வேற எங்கேயாவது டோட்டல் வந்து அந்த எலமெண்ட் இருக்கிற பிளேஸ் ரோ ப்ளஸ் காலம், தட் இஸ் த மீனிங். அந்த மாதிரி பார்க்கணும். ஸோ A11 we have only total is 2, that is only one element is possible in the first place. அடுத்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா A12 A21 ரெண்டுக்குமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டோட்டல் வந்து 3 வரும். ஸோ these two element must be same, அதனால தான் 2 2ன்னு போட்டிருக்கேன். And then A13 equal to A31 equal to A22. So these three elements must be same. So then A23 and A32, these two elements must be same. And finally this is A33. A3 means total 6. There is no total 6. So the meaning is, in short, our trick is, this is 1 free entry, 2 free entry, 3 free entries, 4 free entries, totally 5 free entries. So 5 free entries are possible. In the given option, substitute n equal to 3. So find out the answer. In the given answer, substitute n equal to 3. Suppose first option is n square. N equal to 3 means 9 will come. So this is not correct. And then second one also not correct. Third one, 2 into 3 plus 1, 7 will come. So here only we get 5. So that is the meaning. So this is the answer. So solution D, 2n minus 1. December 2012, part B. Let V be a three-dimensional vector space over the field F3, that is equal to Z by 3Z, Z over 3Z of 3 elements. It is equivalent to Z3. The number of distinct one-dimensional subspace of V is. So this is a direct question. I here give a formula. என்னன்னா 3-dimensional vector space விங்கிறத கொடுத்துறாங்க. ஃபீல்டு வந்து பொதுவாக நம்ம RCன்னு எடுப்போம். இந்த இடத்துல F3 ன்னு கொடுத்துறாங்க. F3 is the field. F3 is equal to Z3. Z3 means 0, 1, 2, 3 elements. Like that, there are 3 elements. So number of elements alone enough. Don't bother about the entries or elements. So this is a formula. Number of distinct k-dimensional subspace of V over F with the dimension of V. Dimension of the vector space is n. Cardinality of the F is P. So both are different. Cardinality of F. Here F is a field. So here 3 equal to P power n minus 1, P power n minus P, etc. P power n minus P power k minus 1 divided by, instead of n put k. So P power k minus 1, P power k minus P, etc. P power k minus P power k minus 1. So this is a formula. So start with P power n. First places in every factor P power n is there. The second place 1. 1 means P power 0. And then second bracket P. P means P power 1 up to P power k minus 1. The denominator replace n by k in the numerator. You will get the denominator. So இந்த மாதிரி ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. P power n ல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளேஸ் எல்லாமே P power n தான். அண்ட் தென் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ராக்கெட்டில் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ட்ரி வந்து 1. 1னா P power 0. செகண்ட் ப்ராக்கெட்டில் செகண்ட் என்ட்ரி வந்து P power 1 எட்ஸெட்ரா P power k minus 1 வரைக்கும். அப்படியே நியூமரேட்டரில் n இருக்கிறதுல கேன்னு போட்டுருங்க. ஸோ டினாமினேட்டர் வந்துடும். இந்த மாதிரி ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். ஸோ திஸ் அ ஃபார்முலா. ஸோ சப்ஸ்டியூட் n equal to 3, p equal to 3, k equal to 1. So number of distinct one-dimensional subspace equal to 3 cube minus 1 divided by 3 minus 1. So we get 13. 13 is in solution A. Let's see here 13. So next question. Part B. Which of the following subsets of R4 is a basis of R4? So here all the sets have only 4 elements. So R4 means dimension is 4. So dimension of R4 is 4. So it is enough to check whether this set is linearly independent or not. In general, to prove a basis, we have to check whether the set is linearly independent and the set is generated the whole vector space or spanned the whole vector space. But whenever this dimension and the number of vectors are same, dimension is 4, number of vectors also 4. So only one of two conditions is enough. Either check linearly independent condition or spanning condition. That's all. Here I am going to check only linearly independent condition. So இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டினில் டைமென்ஷன் 4னு கொடுத்துட்டு அந்த செட்டுலையும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா B1ல 4 வெக்டார்ஸ் இருக்குது. 1, 2, 3, 4 வெக்டார்ஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ இப்படி கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா நீங்கள் லீனியர்லி இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் இல்லைன்னா ஸ்பேன் பண்ணுதா அப்படின்னு செக் பண்ணால் போதும். ரெண்டு கண்டிஷனும் வேணாம். அப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் வந்து லீனியர்லி இண்டிபெண்டன்ட். ஹவு டு செக்? ஃபைண்ட் த டிடர்மினன்ட். So determinant of first row 1 0 0, second row like that, right? It will become triangular matrix. All the diagonal entries are 1. So determinant not equal to 0. Second also determinant not equal to 0. But the for B3 determinant will be 0. So the B3 is not linearly independent. So B3 cannot be a basis. So B1 B2 okay. B3 is not a basis. So option B1 B2 but not B3. So option A is the correct option. So meaning b1 and b2 are linearly independent having 4 vectors. So this is enough. b1 and b2 are bases, but b3 is not a basis. Which of the following sets of functions from R to R is a vector space over R? S1 is given the collection of functions f such that limit x tends to 3 f of x equal to 0. So what is the meaning? We should not connect all the functions. Whenever you take limit x tends to 3, the function value should come 0. For example, take x minus 3. This is f of x. Take this is as f of x. If you take limit x tends to 3, you will get 0. So this function belongs to this collection. That is the meaning. So f of x equal to x minus 3 belongs to this collection, like that. X minus 3 the whole square. X minus 3 into x minus 2, like that. And also, what about 0? You take 0 alone. Whether the set S1 contains 0 function, that is 0 vector here. So 0 function or not. So if you take f of x itself 0, limit x tends to 3 f of x also 0. So 0 function belongs to S1. 0 function means you put any input 0 of x equal to 0. That is called 0 function. So 0 function belongs to first set. The second one, what is the meaning? Whenever you take limit x tends to 3, the function, the value must be 1. So this means 0 function is not included in S2. So S2 cannot be a vector space because it does not contain 0 vector. And then third one, h of x exists. Exist means 0 also, because 0 means you will get 0. Exist means any finite value. So for now, S2 is not a vector space. So we have to check S1 and S3. That's enough. So again, important result. Number 1, the set of all functions from R to R is a vector space over R. So if you know this, to check these 3 functions are vector space or not, it is enough to check these 3 functions are subspaces. To check a set is a subspace, so this is enough. Subspace test. Simply, we have to prove W is a subspace. It is enough to prove W is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. That is, take 2 vectors and 2 scalars, find the linear combination alpha u plus beta v, check whether it belongs to W or not. If it belongs to W, then it is a basis. If it does not belong to W, it is not a basis. இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ல இப்படி செக் பண்ணுங்க. Set of all functions means including 0 function from R to R is a vector space. Under vector addition is sum of the functions and scalar multiplication is alpha into the function. Scalar with the function multiply the scalar with the function. That is the second operation. This is subspace test. நீங்கள் இதை செக் பண்ணால் போதும். 2 வெக்டார் எடுக்கணும், 2 ஸ்கேலார் எடுக்கணும். இந்த லீனியர் காம்பினேஷன் மறுபடியும் அதே கலெக்ஷன் இருக்குன்னு சொன்னால் போதும். இப்போ S1 பார்க்குறோம். C S1, F and G belongs to S1. So alpha and beta, here field is R. We are checking limit x tends to 3 alpha f plus beta g of x, that is equal to. This is general result. Okay, this is direct result, easy result. Take this alpha outside and beta outside. So put limit x tends to 3 into f of x, limit x tends to 3 into g of x. This is given because we are taking this f and g from the collection. So this must be 0 and this must be 0. This must be 0. This must be 0. So we get 0. So when we take the function alpha I plus beta g, limit x tends to become 0. So this function belongs to the set S1. So S1 is a vector space. Second one I already told. Actually S2. S2 is not a vector space because 0 vector is not in this set. What about S3? Like S1, check this. Take limit x tends to 3 alpha plus beta g. So alpha into these two limit exist. I mean this limit exists, this limit exists. These alpha and beta are scalars. So the total limit exists. So that's enough. This is a subspace. Actually, to solve the question, these 3 steps are enough. I am here extra. I checked whether S2 is closed under vector addition. I take f and g from S2. limit x tends to 3 f of x 1, limit x tends to g of x 1. So 1 plus 1 we get 2. But what is the condition? This must be 1. So f plus g does not belong to S2. So vector addition is not closed. So final answer is option C. June 2018 recent question part B. The system of equations, the system of 3 equations given, whether it has solution in rational numbers or real numbers or solution in complex number, has no solution. So this is not a linear equation because the degree is x square here. So 1 plus x plus 2 into x square plus 3 into xy like that. So these are not linear equation. So we cannot apply ordinary method. We are using linear algebra. See. First one, I simply write x plus 2x square plus 3xy equal to 6. Second one also. And then third one, x minus x square plus y equal to 7. So do like this. Equation 2 equation. So consider this is 1. First equation plus 2 into third equation. So multiply third equation by 2. So you get 2x minus 2x square 2y equal to 14. Add this and this. So x plus 2x you get 3x. This 2x square, this 2x square get cancelled. 3xy term is here, so it will come here. And then 2y term is here, so it will come here. 6 plus 14 equal to 20. This first one. And then second one, 2 into second equation minus first equation. So we get 4x. So I do like this. So here we get multiply by 2. So 4x plus 2x square plus 6xy plus 2y equal to 10. So subtract 2 minus 1. So 4x minus x 3x. 2x square minus 2x square cancelled. 6xy minus 3xy here 3xy. And then 2y, there is no y term in first equation, so only 2y. So 10 minus 6 we get 4. So see these two equations. Here left hand sides are same, but right hand side, one side we have 20 and another side we have 4. So no solution exists. For the same meaning, two left hand side must be same, mean right hand side must be same. Here we have different values 20 and 4. So the system has no solution. So no solution exists. Answer is option D, has no solution. So இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டினில் இப்படி சிம்பிளை பண்ணி பாருங்கள். இது ப்ராப்ளம் ஓரியன்டட் தான். அப்படி செக் பண்ணி பார்க்கும்போது இப்படி வந்துச்சுன்னா நோ சொல்யூஷன் அப்படின்னு போட்டுருங்க.